It's London, 1971. A man in a suit that doesn't quite fit sits across from the directors of Barclays Bank. He's asking for $43 million, hundreds of millions in today's money, to build the world's largest shipyard in a country that has never built a single merchant ship. Banker said, "Mr. Chung, you don't even have a location. You have a photo of an empty beach in Ulsan. You have no engineers. Why should we give you a penny?" Chung Ju-young didn't show them a business plan. He showed them history. "Look at this," he said. "This is the turtle ship. My ancestors built the world's first ironclad warship 300 years before the British Royal Navy. Shipbuilding is in our DNA. We just haven't had the chance to wake it up yet." It was the greatest bluff in financial history. He got the loan. But that was the easy part. To keep it, he had to sell two massive ships to a Greek billionaire before he even had a crane in the ground. This is the story of Hyundai and the man who refused to believe in the word impossible. Before he was the king of Korean industry, Chung Ju-young was a peasant boy in Asan. In the 1920s, a farmer's life in Korea was a cycle of hunger and backbreaking labor. But Chung had a restless spirit. He tried to run away 4 times. Each time was more desperate than the last. The first escape. He and a friend walked 15 miles to find work on a railway. His father found him and dragged him back by his ear. The second escape. He sold his friend's clothes for a train ticket. Caught again. The third escape. He stole his father's only cow, the family's entire net worth, sold it for 71, and fled to Seoul. His father found him 2 months later, and seeing his son's determination, he finally wept. But Chung didn't stay. On his fourth escape, he stayed for good. He started as a delivery boy for a rice shop. While other boys played or slept, Chung memorized every shortcut in the city. He didn't just deliver rice, he became the face of the business. Within 3 years, the owner gave him the shop. But just as he tasted success, the Japanese colonial government shut him down. Then came the Korean War. Everything was reduced to ash. But for Chung, ash was just the raw material for concrete. In 1947, he founded Hyundai Civil Works. He chose the name Hyundai because it means modern. He wanted to drag his country out of the 19th century. During the 1950s, the U.S. military needed bridges, barracks, and roads. Chung won these contracts because he worked faster than humanly possible. In 1953, he won a contract to rebuild a major bridge. Inflation was so high that by the time he bought the materials, the contract money was worthless. His family begged him to quit. Instead, he sold his brother's houses, his own house, and took on massive debt to finish the bridge on time. He lost a fortune on that bridge, but he gained something more valuable: the government's trust. In 1968, the Korean government announced a suicide mission, a 428-kilometer highway through mountains and valleys. Foreign experts said it would bankrupt the country. Chung took the job. He lived in a tent. He slept 4 hours a night. He famously punched an engineer who said a tunnel was impossible. The highway was finished in 2 years and 5 months, the fastest construction of its scale in human history. It was the backbone of Korea's industrial revolution. By the 1970s, Korea was growing, but it was a hollow economy. They built things, but they didn't own the technology. Chung wanted to build a Korean car. Chung went to Toyota for help. They rejected him, saying Korea wasn't ready. Chung's response? "Fine, I'll do it myself." He hired George Turnbull from British Leyland and gave him a blank check. In 1975, the Hyundai Pony was released. It wasn't just a car, it was a declaration of independence. Remember that shipyard loan? While the shipyard was being built in Ulsan, Chung was building the ships at the same time on the same beach. When the dock was finally flooded, the ships were already floating. But the ultimate test came in the Middle East. During the oil crisis, Korea was running out of dollars. Chung flew to Saudi Arabia and won the Jubail Industrial Port Project, the largest construction project in the 20th century. He moved 20-story steel structures across the ocean from Korea to Saudi Arabia on barges. No one had ever tried it. If the barges sank, Hyundai would die. They didn't sink. Chung brought $900 million back to Korea, single-handedly saving the national economy. By the late 1990s, Chung was one of the richest men on earth, but he was haunted by the ghost of a cow. In 1998, as Korea faced a financial crisis and tensions with the North were at a breaking point, The 83-year-old founder did something unprecedented. He organized a convoy of 50 trucks. He was delivering 1,001 cattle to North Korea. Chung said, "I am going back to pay for the one cow I stole from my father 60 years ago. One cow has now become 1,000. It was a gesture of peace that paved the way for the first ever Inter-Korean summit. He proved that a businessman could do what politicians couldn't. Chung Ju-young passed away in 2001. He left behind a legacy that defines the chaebol system, a mix of absolute family control and a terrifying drive for national success. Today, Hyundai is the third largest automaker in the world. They aren't just following, they are leading in EVs and robotics. Whenever a new challenge arises, the employees still repeat Chung's favorite phrase, "Ibwa Hebwasio," meaning, "Hey, have you even tried?" Because the man who sold a dream for a cow proved that the only thing standing between a peasant and a billionaire is the courage to take the first step.